Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm Maryam. In today's video, I am going to be doing the most, covering the new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Foundation and comparing it to the original Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I am going to be conducting a wear test at the end. I'm going to be comparing the shades, basically talking about all the differences and of course determining whether this new version is as good as the original, whether the improvements were actual good improvements, and whether we need this product in our lives. Right now, my face is looking pretty flawless and pretty full coverage, but wait until the end of the video for that wear test, and please, please, please don't buy till I try. Also, if you love these types of videos, remember to subscribe to my channel. We are almost at 250,000 subscribers, you guys. Our Team Truth fam is growing, it's expanding, and I couldn't be more thankful. Hit the notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now let's get into it. Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte versus Huda Beauty Faux Filter Original. New versus old. Which one wins it? Let's find out and let the battle begin. All right, so let's begin. First and foremost, two versions of the same foundation, the old original one and also the new reformulated one, both $40, both available at the same places where each one is sold. So the original foundation is a full coverage foundation. However, it is very fragrant. So this is one of the things that I think was the main reason for the reformulation, but let me not tell you about it. Let Huda actually tell you about it. I have a little video that I want to play for you guys, just so we're all on the same page and we know what we're all talking about.
With my face, I haven't even set my foundation and look, no transfer. I am actually wearing our new and improved,
it is our faux filter that we've had that you guys have loved forever, just improved. We were listening, we were planning, we were trying so hard to make a formula. Like, how can we make a foolproof, filtered, full coverage foundation better? We listened to you guys. We did it with you guys. That's how we made it better, with you guys. Rinse free, even better on the transfer, and even more filtering. Non-comedogenic, won't clog your pores. Everything you've ever wanted. 24-hour wear, not that you want that, but people want really long lasting. We really pushed the bar here.
All right, so there it is. You heard it, I heard it. It's supposed to be fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, won't clog your pores, even more filter-like, even more flawless, natural skin-like finish, blendable full coverage, smooth texture, does increase filter in a bottle. And also no transfer. Today I have a really long day ahead of me, so I will be going outside. I will be wearing a mask, so I'll definitely do the wear test and I'll show you what my mask looks like inside at the end of the day. So now that we have all the facts, I'm gonna apply both of these foundations onto my face because I wanna see how they compare to each other. I actually wanna smell them both. I wanna see if there's in fact no fragrance to the new one. I wanna see how they wear, most importantly. Because the original one, I do like it a lot. It is a really great foundation. It was a bit fragrant for my liking, so I'm very, very, very excited about this one. Also, this new one is supposed to be a luminous matte type of finish, which I'm definitely more into nowadays, as you already know. Firstly, I'm going to compare the shades. So my shade in the original one is Tres Leches 320G. I'm gonna basically apply that to the back of my hand, and I wanna see if the shades are actually the same. So this is the original 320G. Very, very fragrant indeed. And now here we have the new and improved. Basically, it's the same packaging. However, I don't know if I, by mistake, was sent a different version of what I was supposed to be sent, but my 320G, the new and improved version, has this really interesting additional cap. I'm not sure why. Also, I had two other shades sent to me in PR. These shades do not have the cap, so I'm assuming that that was just a mistake on their part and that wasn't actually meant to be there, so just keep that in mind. But I'm actually keeping it here because this is the only way that I can tell that this is the new and improved version outside of the no scent. Same pump. Okay, so off the bat, I will tell you that the colors are not identical. I'm gonna give them a second to set and then I'm gonna show you one more time once it's dry. I'm also gonna take a close-up with my phone just so I can show you what it looks like. All right, so I don't know if you can tell in this light, but here on the left is the original Faux Filter foundation, and then here on the right is the new version. I don't know if it's me, but the new version looks just a little bit more orange and a little bit less olive, which you can really tell with the naked eye. Perhaps these lights are a little blown out to really be able to tell the difference, but I can really see it. I see it in this light. I could really see it more in this light here. You can even kind of tell the difference in my monitor when I shift my hand from side to side. I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. I mean, I guess they're close enough, but the fact that I want the original shade is what's throwing me off just a bit. All right, so just for the sake of this video, I'm actually gonna test out a couple of these other shades on my face. So I'm gonna start with Shortcake 315B. Don't think this is my shade, but I'm gonna test it anyway just to show you the difference. I mean, look how full coverage that is. It's quite the coverage, indeed. Next, we have Amaretti, which is 310G. I'm gonna test this shade as well. I mean, wow. Definitely a lot more olive and a lot more vibrant. So not a match for me, but just look at that coverage. All right, and now we have the new Tres Leches 320G. That is insane. I almost feel like my true shade should be between this Shortcake and the Tres Leches. So not this peach and not this yellow, but somewhere in between. So I might actually sometime in the future mix those two shades just to see how that works for me. But for the sake of today's video, excuse me here, how dare you? But for the sake of today's video, I'm just gonna go for the new Tres Leches and the original Tres Leches just so we can compare the exact same shade. No thumbnail faces today because I actually want my thumbnail to be wearing both of these foundations on my two different sides of the face. So removing all that, and onto my primer. For my primer, you already know it, Essence Tinted Primer. I'm gonna wear the same primer on both sides of the face, just for the sake of fairness. My skin's a little meh today. It's just a little meh. I had a really long day yesterday, which started out with a COVID test, came back negative. I had a rapid test. And the reason why I had the test was because I had a full crew of people here at my house filming me for a day in the life episode in a digital docuseries. So I will share all the details of that later on once it becomes available. But basically they went through my whole entire day and they filmed my process. So that's very exciting. And of course I was a little nervous. I hadn't had that many people in my house since last March, but it was definitely a fun thing to do. And it was fun kind of just like opening up and showing how Lee and I work and just taking people through our day and having it be filmed. Definitely an amazing opportunity. So stay tuned. They actually filmed me and Lee prepping to film this very video. So I'm a little bit more familiar with this product than I am normally. I actually already opened it up. I kind of looked at the packaging. This isn't like a true first impression, although it is my first time applying it on. I already did a lot of research on this. All right, so my primer is on, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead with the new and improved version. I'm gonna designate this side of the face for the new version, this one for the old one. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna just pump some to the back of my hand. I'm gonna use my IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection brush. This is the black version. I think it was in collaboration with Ulta. It seems like that's what it says here, but it's just like a little rubbed off. But basically it's the same Complexion Perfection brush. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just start stippling that onto my problem zones. My buttons are making a little bit of noise. Please disregard. I'm gonna go in with like a much lighter hand around my porous zone area. I'm gonna also bring in the smear. Not the best shade for me for the current moment, but I'm also thinking it's this new undertone that's not exactly yellow olive. That's more on the peachy orangey side is what's also throwing me off because it's not really matching my neck and the undertone of my true complexion. I'll make it work, of course, but I already see color discrepancy and I'm not really loving what I'm seeing. All right, so basically I've applied this foundation to this side of the face. It looks pretty good. It definitely covered up all of my imperfections. The coverage is very full indeed, so that I love. I do find that it's just a pinch clingy in my textured area right here where I have slightly enlarged pores. Not a huge fan of that. I also don't really see any of that matte luminosity that they were talking about. It seems actually just flat matte to me. But let's compare to the original and let's see if there's actually a difference. I'm just gonna take whatever's remaining on the back of my hand and kind of just stipple down on my neck to blend a little bit with my skin tone. Maybe also a little bit on my ears. Gonna close that up. Here we have the original. Scented AF, you guys. Like, that scent is strong. It's a nice scent, granted, but as we know, fragrance isn't really the best for our skin, so I'm glad they removed that. Same thing really, I'm just stippling the product onto my skin. Okay, I'm not really seeing the difference between the two finishes. I feel like the finish is identical, both on the super full coverage, flat, matte side. I don't see the new and improved version being more luminous whatsoever, but of course I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna show you what it's looking like up close. All right, so let's start with the forehead. Here is the new and improved version. Here is the original formula. I don't know if you can tell the difference between color. I guess they are close enough that you can't tell. Neither one is really my color, which is fine, but here is what this side of the face looks like. I feel like this is just a little bit more emphasized than I like, but everything else looks really good. I do like how it covers imperfections such as blemishes and bumps. That I am pretty impressed with. You can still see my freckles here because I don't really apply a lot of foundation there anyway. I like to take care of the under eye area with my concealer specifically. I didn't add a heavy touch here at all. Same thing on this side. Looking at my skin in this reflection, kind of like the original version better. It's so hard to be able to tell. But is it me or is this area just looking a little rough? A little rougher than here. Yeah, you can still see my pores here. Yeah, I get it. This is a matte foundation that is clingy. I feel like it's just a little bit more perfecting on the original version than it is here. Anyway, at this point, let's actually make this foundation look good. Right now, it's not really matching my neck. I had to blend it down a little bit so that my neck could be a little bit more the color of this foundation. Can you actually put your earring without looking in the mirror? Because I can't. I literally need to see the hole. Okay, concealer time. I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape just because it is also very, very full coverage. Similar finish to this Huda Beauty. And now time to blend it all out. Also, this will help me hide any difference between the color. All right, so I'm quickly gonna go through setting my face, add some bronzer, and then I'm gonna show you what everything looks like once the powder is on. Dragun Beauty powder. This one is very fragrant. I'm gonna add this powder to my pore zones just because I find this powder to be very forgiving and very perfecting. I'm also gonna use a big brush just to press everything in. I feel that in my case, because I'm oily AF, I always have to do more steps with a fuller coverage foundation than with, say, a sheer or medium buildable coverage foundation. The amount of pigment for me always determines how much oil I produce or overproduce. So just working from my experience, I know that full coverage foundations tend to make me overproduce some oils. So because of that, I'm trying to compensate and set this product a little bit more than I would with any other foundation. But I'm keeping it fair and I'm doing so on both sides of the face. I don't know if you can tell, but I can definitely tell. Suddenly this foundation is looking just a little bit more seamless. It almost looks like it matches me a little bit more. It's not as saturated as it was before. So I will definitely credit that to this Dragun Beauty powder that, although very fragrant, I do love. It is becoming that bitch for me. All right, I'm gonna quickly bronze up with my HAUS Labs Heat Spell, just adding a little bit more dimension to my face. Looks like I missed a spot. Face is nice and set. Let me actually add some highlighter to this face just so we can see how that lays over this foundation. I'm gonna use the same one from this HAUS Labs Duo, the Desert and Dawn Gorge. All right, I'm back with another close-up. Here is this side of the face. Not bad at all after the Dragun Beauty powder. Here is the forehead, looking mighty fine. Can't complain. And here is this side of the face, which now I think it seems to be matching this side of the face. The color is definitely not that off, and overall, pretty pleased. I will also say that I'm just not so used to seeing such a full coverage foundation on my face. I haven't really been reaching for these types of formulations lately, especially given the fact that we're wearing masks when we go out. Matter of fact, I haven't even really been putting foundation on the mask part of my face, and I haven't had the need for such glamorous full coverage, but there is definitely a need for this. There are tons of people who still prefer that very matte, very flawless look. So if you are into this foundation, I have a suspicion that you will like the way this looks, because it's definitely covering everything. I'm not gonna say that it's the most texture forgiving foundation in the world. It definitely looks just a little bit clingy and definitely has that pore emphasis, but with the right products like the right concealer and the right powder, you could probably get it to look as good as it can possibly look, which for me, I guess, is this. Oh yeah, it's time for that wear test, and it's time for that masked wear test, just to see how this foundation performs, how it holds up, and also how it compares to the original version. So let's cue in some of that good old time warping music for that wear test. Let's hit it. All right, foundation check-in. I got my brother over here next to me, Rashid. So apparently he had some words about the way that my face is looking right now. Would you like to share what it was, what you thought?
Sure.
Let me know.
It looks like you're wearing 100 layers of wax, and it's pretty orange. It's pretty waxy. Looks like it was made out of clay. Looks like your face was like made out of clay, and it exposes your pores a lot.
Thanks. It's amazing. Great. Love that. Thank you for your input. I truly appreciate that.
Macaroni.
I appreciate that. Great. Thanks. All right, back in the studio all by myself. Don't want to be mask on. About to reveal what this mask looks like after nearly 12 hours of wear. All right, here we go. Looks like lots of transfer on both sides of the face. Looks like there's a little bit more wear on the original foundation side of the face than the new foundation, although there's definitely quite a bit of transfer on both. But besides all that, let's actually just observe what my skin is looking like at the current moment. Like I said, I've had a very long day today. It was actually my stepmom's birthday, so we celebrated. We've had some drinks. I've definitely had some drinks, and here I am, not so fresh faced after all. Definitely the makeup has worn off in the center of my nose. My nose is definitely looking a little bit more red than the rest of my face. Back to my check-in video. Although I was personally kind of just going with the flow and I was liking the way that my face was looking, I was not super pleased with my brother and sister's reaction to my makeup and just to my foundation overall. Especially my brother, you heard his reaction. He said that my face looked very waxy. It looked like I was wearing 100 layers of makeup on my face. Looks like my skin was made out of wax. Definitely did not like hearing that, especially from my little brother. But that is something that you just happen to run into when you wear a full coverage foundation like the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, whether it's the original one or the new and improved version. That full coverage definitely has that fakey sort of look on your face. Yes, I definitely agree with him. The foundation was not a perfect match. It wasn't even a match to my neck or my chest. It was definitely a little bit more saturated, a little bit more orange. Overall, I will say it's worn pretty well, but well, let's just put it this way. I am personally a fan of this Huda Beauty original foundation. I like the way that it looks. I know it's a very full coverage foundation that looks like makeup, not skin, but I am someone who likes the look of makeup on the skin, so it's not something that I tend to shy away from. However, it does look a little bit obvious in person. It looks like you're wearing makeup. It definitely looks like a full face of product. So keep that in mind. I don't really see the difference between the new and improved version and the original version. Outside of the scent, there really isn't much difference. Both sides were about the same. I'm pretty evenly oily across the board, I will say. The only one difference is definitely the fragrance free in the new version and the fragrance or the scent in the original version. So that is just like my biggest takeaway from this wear test. If you're not into this type of look, you will probably not get much wear or much use out of this type of product because, like I said, like my brother said, like we all seem to agree, this looks like makeup. Bottom line, these two foundations, outside of the slight shade discrepancy, are the exact same thing, just minus the fragrance here, plus the fragrance in the original one. So that is my story. That is my bottom line. That is my true north. And I am sticking to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And definitely check out some of my other videos right here. A video that you might enjoy and also my most recent video. I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Mwah! Deuces.